Hope I find you well. What I want to talk about today is just the fact that our brains cherry pick information. I was watching this TED Talk about this a while ago. TED Talks are great, by the way. And he was talking about how he was talking specifically about when you meet someone or you see somebody on the street or whatever, your reptile brain, like your brain stem basically, actually classifies them as one of four things. Either they're classified as a friend, enemy, potential lover, sexual partner. I guess, I don't know if lover is a reptile thing, but lover or just neutral, like irrelevant. And then what actually happens, which is the interesting part, is, and these assumptions are not based on it's based on like stuff like body language and stuff, and they're not always entirely accurate. And then what actually happens, which is a really interesting part, is that the different part of your brain will actually cherry pick information about that person in order to confirm those assumptions. So if you classified them as an enemy, you would notice stuff like, well, he looks kind of angry, maybe he's carrying some sort of thing that could be used as a weapon. You'd notice stuff like that. And so this got me thinking, well, where else in life does this cherry picking of information come into play? Where else in life does these biases come into play? So I remembered one time when I just started meditating. I was working at a gas station at the time, and sometimes I would look up, and it was like a glass box, and I'd look up and there'd be a car pulling in, but I couldn't have heard it yet because it was too far away to hear, and I was looking down, I couldn't see it, but there was this car pulling in when I looked up. So I'm like, oh, I guess my mind powers are developing. I guess I can sense these cars coming now. And I'm not saying sensing stuff and stuff like that is BS, but after a while I started thinking, well, wait a minute. I look up quite a bit. I wonder how much I look up compared to how much is actually... Because, yeah, a lot of the time I'd look up and there'd be absolutely nothing to see, right? But when I looked up and seen the car, which is really probably only about 5 or 10% of the time, I'd look up and see it, and my brain would shoot in like this. It was like this little emotion. I can't remember. It was a long time ago, so I can't remember exactly what it was. But yeah, it was this emotional response to it. So those times were accentuated, they were highlighted, and so it felt like most of the time I looked up, I was seeing these cars. But upon a closer, more logical examination, that was found to be false. So just remember that your brain is physically designed to have these biases. Your brain is designed to have biases and to confirm those biases based on nothing, cherry picking information, picking out some facts and leaving out others, which is not logical or objective at all. I mean, again, the whole objective argument, but that's a lot less objective than some other things. So just remember, whenever you're dealing with a situation or a person or whatever, just remember that your brain is designed to have biases about that, and try to be more logical about it because that's a little more objective. But don't get too worked up about it either, because really our brain, our conscious mind is really all we have to work with. So don't get too frustrated about it either. Just use it as best you can. Remember to try to be logical about things. As always, onward and upward.